Hey there. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I'll say that again. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast. Oh, yep, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Now it's time for the Big Bad Broadcast.
Hey, have you guys heard about Lane's Merge being missing?
Well, I haven't heard his name for forever. There is an old name.
Oh, yeah.
What happened? Where's he at?
We don't know. He was just on tour, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared, and we don't know. The last he was seen is these two rednecks saw him getting in a truck in Alabama with a guy they said driving the truck that looked like Elvis.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe he was headed north. We're in Canada right
Yes.
now. There's a good idea.
I think maybe we could have a look and see if we can find him. Alabama was the last sighting.
Right.
I think he headed really far north. He wanted to get the hell out of there, from what I could tell. Do you see him anywhere yourself, Jeff? Can you see him coming through?
That old truck of his, I don't know how far he's going to make it in that old thing. Is that? There it is right there.
Oh, my gosh, you can barely see it. I think it's burning up a little bit.
Yeah.
Smoke and raid, radiator.
And he's gone.
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. It was just a really brief sighting. Didn't look very good, though.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
But
You
he's
didn't see
resilient.
me. You didn't
He's
see me in there,
resilient.
did you?
He needs to get a razor. Guy had a lot of hair on his face. Needs a razor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to welcome you to Bitchin Baby Boomers.
Hey, Bitchin Boomer Army, we're back. That's right, we're back, all of us, 4 strong. Joe Silkey's back. He's been on a little hiatus. We have Mike Grief, the Dean of the Clown College.
How you doing, Joe? You've been on a hiatus. That must hurt. Oh, Joe, that hiatus.
It certainly does.
We got Joe Silkey. Welcome back. Our pal Joe Silkey's back. And we have Craig Mitchell, Yoda.
I was going to change my name to Mike, actually, but cool. Good.
Be
And
like
me,
Mike.
I'm John Ferrantino. I'm just another brick in the wall.
Oh, very nice.
Another prick on a wall. What?
Oh, hey.
Oh.
Hey.
So anyway, Joe, where you been?
Well, I've been out on an assignment looking for Lane's Merge. It's
With you.
it's been pretty brutal.
With Eunice, right?
Yeah,
No, not at all. Actually, I was so distraught over Lane's, I had to get a pet. So here's my pet Mildred. I don't know if you can really see it.
Mildred.
Is that to keep Eunice company?
Yeah. So lifelike.
Well, how come
Free-range parakeet.
how come we keep getting the receipts to the show and it shows 2 people checked into the hotel,
Yeah.
2
I'm a big
people
guy.
meals,
I'm a
and
big
2
guy.
people, and don't tell me it's you and that little bird.
Maybe one was inflatable.
Yeah, what about the receipt for the lingerie? Was that for you, Joe?
Or the bird.
That's Mike's birthday present.
What
Hey, you know what?
about the penicillin shots?
Although, actually, those were from me.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so tell us, what is the update on Lane's?
Lane's is missing. I know you guys said, yeah, we know that, but no trace. I mean, the last I heard was the 2 guys, and he got in the truck with Elvis supposedly, but
In Alabama.
yeah.
Alabama, yeah.
Oh, my
So,
God.
but I did run across a friend who we've seen before, and we have a new video with his new project.
Cool.
Huh?
So,
And now, the Bitchin Baby Boomers Radio.com is proud to present to you, from the 4 corners of the world, some of the most unusual, interesting stories or facts you ever see. This is Believe It, if you want. These extraordinary stories are true and filmed on location. Remember, believe it, if you want. now your host, Joe
Hi,
Silky.
folks. This is Joe Silky on assignment for the BBB Radio Video Podcast. I've got a great story for you today.
Bob Yulberg, and he's a friend of mine who does some amazing stuff. Why don't you tell us about this project that you worked on?
Okay, so what Joe's referring to is a band organ. And for those of you who want dinner, this is the last call, so I hope you'll join us for dinner. Anyway, the band organ is called a band organ because it emulates a marching band with snare drum, bass drum, cymbal, triangle, woodblock, glockenspiel, all kinds of pipes, bass pipes, violin pipes, flute pipes, piccolo pipes, you name it. So it indeed emulates a band. Historically, organs were used on traveling shows to attract a crowd, to bring them into the Midway and have them see the shows or ride the rides. Of course, right now they're mostly associated with carousels, and they're also called carousel organs. So it's a lot of fun. This one that you're probably going to see a video of, I built from more or less scratch, although the pipes came out of England and the design was more or less freelance. And what I did was I designed it to fit into a trailer that I found. So it keeps growing to fit more and more snugly into that trailer, which it'll never come out of. We use it for parades and special events and all kinds of activities we're having around the country. The Carousel Organ Association of America, that I'm president of, hosts rallies for free where people can attend and see organ concerts. It's a lot of fun. So go to coaa.us and you'll see when and where the events are, and you can join us, have lots of fun. Thanks. See you soon.
Thanks, Bob. That was wonderful. Take care. Bye.
Man, that was my favorite song.
Yeah. And we know who wrote it, too. Who wrote it?
Didn't Frank Zappa have one of those organs in his band?
Who wrote it, too?
The Sherman Brothers.
The Sherman Really? A band organ. I've never had a band on. Never had a band on my organ. Well, no, that's not true.
I like what he says. It fits in the trailer that I found. He had to do a couple of modifications to the trailer. He had to get rid of the license plate and remove the lawnmowers that were inside it.
How come it's okay when he finds a trailer, but when I find a trailer, it's a federal offense?
But it's amazing. I mean, made it from scratch. I mean, he's a wood carver. It's just, you just wake up and you go, hey, I'm going to build I like this thing. I'm going to build a bandwagon.
Didn't he used to be the Burger King guy?
Yeah, he was the Burger King magician when he didn't wear a mask and he did actual magic. And, he's really a fascinating person, great guy. And his wife.
He's really talented. He really is. But I got to tell you something. Those faces scare the shit out of me.
No, that one,
the fuck out, man.
The first one, the round one, looked just like Trump, and the other one went like this, looked like Trump after he lost the election.
Were those people being tortured when he carved them? Because that's what it looks like.
Crazy.
He's a talented man.
So his latest project, I spoke to him yesterday. His latest project is, Mike would appreciate this. He's building a organ grinders.
Is that where you grind up guys who play the organ?
For the monkeys.
For the monkeys.
With the monkey and the organ grinder. He's building. Yeah, that's it.
They're all
These
waiting.
guys are waiting.
You grind up monkeys. They're delicious. I mean, I can't afford to keep feeding them. So pretty soon we're going to have monkey burger barbecue.
Those
Hold on. He just sent a text. He said after he builds the organ grinder, he's building a capsule to go to Mars.
Whoa, man. New donut.
Joe just cracked the donut.
Well, we got a super show today. I mean, we got an amazing show. We have a mind reader on the show. Actually, there's two of them. They're a married couple. And they're the only married couple, I think, in America that are doing this. And they do psychic mind reading. And have you guys had any experience with that?
They make me nervous, man, because I've seen them. I've seen them at the Magic Castle, and it's scary what they come up. I'm really going to be like my mind somewhere else because I'm afraid that this woman is going to see what's in my head, and that really doesn't need to be out there.
That's what your parole officer told us.
You don't need to be out there, Mike. You don't need to be out there.
It's like, Mike, you know when they say use your inside voice, it's like, don't say the stuff that's in there. But
have you guys ever gone to a psychic or a card reader or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
So?
when I was
Do tell.
when I was 18, we were at this girl's house drinking beers in the afternoon. I don't know, and they had a Ouija board, and I was totally making fun of it and stuff. And they go, "Oh, ask a question," and I wasn't on the board. I go, "Okay, all right. What did my grandfather call me? My grandfather on my mother's side, right?" And they go like this, and they move it, and they go to a P. I go, "Oh yeah," and then they go to an H. And they basically started, and they spelled out Philip.
Oh, I thought it was going to spell out putz.
no, that's what everyone else called it. No,
but my grandfather called me Philip, and I never told anybody that.
Wow.
And I got totally freaked the fuck out. I was like, and I was afraid to go near a Ouija board because I don't know. I know they talk about all this stuff, but I think this shit could be real. I don't know.
Why did your grandfather call you Philip?
They couldn't sell it if it wasn't real.
Yeah, I mean, the Parker brothers have strange powers, don't they? Seriously.
Yeah.
So this is how Ouija boards work for people that don't know. Two people sit across from each other. They put their fingers on the planchette. And that they ask planchette. They ask it a question, and it slowly starts to move to different letters or to yes or no, and it usually ends up with a huge argument over who pushed it.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I have a story like Craig's, and I think I was 18 or 19, whatever it was, and we were sitting around. There was about 4 or 5 of us, and we were partaking in certain items of whatever you might want to call it, and we were drinking for sure. And so
hallucinatory cocktails.
It could have been, it's hard to remember when you're that wasted out of your freaking cord. But so we're playing this, and it's like, so it's first we asked it a control question, and I said, "What time will our pizza arrive?" And it said 9:17, real exact number. Yeah. And then I asked it, and we all asked, and I asked it, how old will I be when I die? And it spelled out 36, and I said, from what? And it said drugs. I was like, and at 9:17, and I swear this is not bullshit. At 9:17,
you died of drugs?
No, the doorbell rang, and it was the pizza. The exact time it said the pizza would come, and that can't be set up. You can't. I don't care who's pushing what. The pizza came at 9:17, right when the Ouija board said it. I swear to God.
Did the pizza have a guy, or did the pizza just showed up?
Pizza had a guy. It had one of those little
just came
sleeves on.
dancing in like in a drive-in movie.
And here, why do they have a planchette on top of the pizza? That's what I want.
I know.
I want to add one thing. The other thing that I asked, will I ever be a TV star? And it said yes when I was older. I go, how old? I said, as old as Grandpa Walton. And they went, yes. And you know what? I'm 61, and this year I got a TV show.
There you go.
There you go.
I asked the wrong question. I asked if I'd ever be a TV dinner. Yeah, wrong question.
Well, I was in Atlantic City, and I was working with Paul Provenza and Max Alexander. And for any of you guys who don't know, Alexander is a comedian friend of ours that passed away.
Nice.
That had to be pushing 400 pounds, right, at any given day. And his opening line was, "I'm stuffed. I just ate pages 3 through 17 on the menu." Right? So anyway, and Paul Verbenza had just been on a TV show. He had been on Letterman, where Bob Morton wanted to do this joke, which was, I just came back from the Indiana State Fair, and they were selling bull semen at $25 a quart, which is ridiculous because I can get it on the streets of New York for $10.
Yeah, but that's not quality semen.
And so anyway, but Bob Morton says, "Oh, David's from Indiana. He'll love that joke." So he does the joke, and David goes, "Yeah," right? And that was the last Paul was ever on the show. So we're walking down the boardwalk in Atlantic City. 3 of us are working together. And we see a card reader. It's like $3 or $5 or something. So the 3 of us decide we're going to go. So I go in, and the woman, just told me like some stuff that was pretty spot on, I thought, you know what I mean, about my life and what was going on and stuff. And she looks at Paul and she said, "You have a big career dilemma going on right now. You wanted to be on this TV show really, really badly, and someone gave you some bad advice, but you took their advice, and now you'll never be back on again, and you can't figure out why." Which was pretty, either that or she was a big Letterman fan.
I believe this.
And then she looked at Max Alexander, and she said, "You're next." And she took his chubby little 400-pound hand, and she looked at it, and she goes, "You, my friend, should stay away from salt." And he
You don't
goes,
have to be a psychic for that.
They go, "What else?" And she goes, "That's it."
That's it. I predict heart disease. No.
Well, I tell you, we got more than $5 worth of laughs for that for years. You should
Dude,
stay away from
2 days later, he was assaulted.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
I've had a lot of tarot card readings, and then actually there's like apps you can buy where you can get daily tarot card. I mean, I don't run my life by them, but I tell you what, sometimes I believe in them. There's some funky stuff, and like I said, I've seen the Eversons, and I don't know. I can't explain. Usually you can figure out something, and I can't figure out that.
I did 21 shows with them in a row at the Magic Castle, and I have no idea how they did any of that.
Well,
Yeah.
Could you imagine being married to a woman that knows everything?
Yeah. Like, you want to have sex tonight? No, I don't feel like being disappointed again.
Crank it if you imagine being married to a woman.
No. Well, maybe that woman from Ted Lasso. Maybe her.
The boss lady, yes.
Oh yeah, I love her.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's a big Amazon woman, but I think she's incredibly good looking.
I love her. She's gorgeous, and she's smart, and she's funny.
And she just won the Emmy. God bless her.
She did. She's gorgeous, though. My God.
Yeah, I've had a couple of experiences. There was a comedian that we all know who was claimed to have been psychic, and we were all outside Governor's. Her name was Patty Vitale, and we were all outside of Governor's once. And she sat on the hood of my car, and she jumped up and went, "Ooh, who owns this car?" And I go, "Yeah, it's pretty dirty." And she goes, "No, there's something going on with the tire." And she goes, "Something on this side of the car. This is your car. Please do me a favor. Take it to a mechanic tomorrow." So I was like, "Yeah, okay, So I take it to my cousin, and years before I taken my car to my cousin, who was just like total New Yorker, and they told me at the dealership it had a vapor lock, and he had never heard that.
Oh, I have a vapor leak.
So anytime I went into the shop, he goes, "Hey, what are we dealing here with? Another vapor lock?" I had to get an oil change. He said, "Oh, yeah, I'll try to do the oil change as long as we don't get a vapor lock."
Oh, God.
So anyway, he looked at the car, and he goes, "All right, what's going on?" I go, "It feels weird." "Well, how does it feel? Like a vapor lock?" And I go, "No." So anyway, I left the car with him, and he calls me like an hour later. He goes, "Oh, my God." He goes, "That whole right wheel, the bolt that held the whole suspension on, the nut had come off, And he goes, it was like one turn before that whole front wheel fell off.
Wow.
He goes, how did you know that happened? And believe me, I didn't want to tell him that a psychic told me. Because I would have,
a psychic who just happened to have a wrench in her hand when she told
Right,
me.
yeah.
I would check this side of the car, John. Hold on, let me put my tools away.
Yeah.
why do you have grease all over you?
Yeah. Thanks for that time you didn't give me.
But, it's funny, though. Can you imagine me telling this guy, yeah, a psychic told me that the wheel was going to fall.
Yeah.
I would have never heard the end of it. Well, why didn't the psychic predict the vapor lock? All right. Well, we got a great show for you this week. We got a really special guest. I work with them at the Magic Castle. I did 21 shows with them, I believe, and I have no idea how they did it or what they did it, and I don't care how they did it because they're just amazing. They're just pioneers in what they do. I think Mike saw them there.
Yeah.
Craig, I think you saw them too also, right?
I did.
And it gives me great pleasure, the fact that they would even do our show. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to Tessa and Jeff Evasons.
You got the name right.
Bravo. We would have come on anyway, no matter what you called us. Evansons, Iverson, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. I mean, it's not like I don't know you guys.
It's been a while,
I know it has been a while.
Yeah, so we're getting reconnected.
So for the people that don't know, we're going to just ask you some basic questions here. For the people that don't know, what do you call your act? How would you describe it?
We're a mentalist duo, actually the mentalist duo, because we coined that phrase back in the early 80s. And it's a mind reading act. We're a two-person mind reading act. These acts, such as ours, have similar acts date way back hundreds of years. But when we started, 1983, there were really very few acts in the world that were doing it at the time. So essentially what it is I am in the audience working with a microphone.
He's like the Barker of the show.
I call it Phil Donahue. I'm the Phil.
I like Barker better.
This is the Oprah, and she's on stage with a blindfold, and she's telling people all kinds of things about herself, about themselves.
Well, about myself too, of course.
I mean, not just things, incredible things. I mean, and you guys are probably you've been doing this like 30 years together, right?
The mind reading act, because we started with a different act. So it's been about 30 years,
And you're probably the only married couple doing this, right?
Well, the only married couple that's not divorced yet, right? So
there are a couple more, in all fairness. Yeah, no, we're not the only married couple. We're the only happily married couple.
We've done 30 shows, and I'll tell you what, this is the only time I've actually been nervous because Tessa makes me nervous. I'm going to be thinking of broccoli the whole time.
You don't have to worry. You've got that bandana on, so you're protected. I can't pierce through that brain of yours.
I have tinfoil under it, too.
You got the
I was just going to say that.
It's like, come on, take it off. Let's see the tinfoil. Reveal it.
Oh, boy. So, I mean, and you guys work everywhere. You do corporate shows. How did the pandemic affect you guys? You did a lot of Zoom shows, right?
We did eventually. Yeah. We weren't first out of the gate, but not too long after. Well, we had a call from a producer in Montreal. They were doing a charity event, and they asked us, and we were hesitant at the time because we just thought, this thing would be temporary, that we'd be back to work in no time, but the longer it went, we jumped at his. And the beautiful thing about him was the first event we did on Zoom, it was recorded. So no matter what we did wrong or what looked bad, we could either redo it or it could be edited out. But it was pretty effective. They had 6 people, I think, as audience that they brought in. It was on StreamYard.
Yes.
And then we just started getting other calls. And now we do quite a bit of them. We just did one yesterday. It's right now it's kind of in between. We're finding between live and still the virtual shows.
Yeah, we thought it was really going to switch back to live. We about a month ago we did a lot of orientation shows at campuses, and that's what's great about the campuses. They always seem to fill in the gaps no matter what's going on in that crazy world out there. So we did that and had some corporate work lined up to do live, but those have been getting canceled and switching back to virtual. So I think people are just a little bit concerned with the Delta virus going around. Yeah. So we're just really glad for the virtual work. I mean, it just keeps us going. So it's a good thing.
And you at one time, didn't you guys, you performed at a basketball game, I believe, right?
Yeah, we were doing a lot of halftime shows before this thing broke. Yeah.
Yeah, that was agent had called to hire us to do that. And we thought, wow, how are we going to do it? It's such a huge crowd. How do we?
That's amazing.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, for what we do is, you were saying earlier, John, it's like, it's not just things. It's about people and their lives and things that really mean something to each person. So we're like, how can we convey that in such a huge crowd? But we did it. And, we figured it out and we got out there and it was such a rush. I got to tell you, it was just really awesome to do it. So we did quite a few of them.
It's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So just to get from the center of the court up into the audience.
Yeah, that was the biggest part of the rehearsal. Really, is that part, getting on and getting off. So getting they rush on. They set up the carpet and they put the stage out and they bring the mics out and the speakers, everything. And it's like, and then you have to walk out gracefully, no rushing, but you have to go quickly. And so after we did the first couple, Jeff figured out, as we were walking out, he would start getting people ready and talking to them as though we'd already started the little demo. So it was quite interesting to see how that played out.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I worked with Crosby, Stills and Nash for like 6,000 and 7,000 seat venues, and I used to have to use volunteers. So I used to have to do like one ahead. Like I'd call the guy, but he would be for the second guy coming up, because by the time he got up and through and onto the stage, it would have been like a 5-minute wait between each person.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. So one of my favorite lines in your show, of course, is when you go, "We can guarantee that there's no electronics, and if there is, Tessa goes, I will write you a check for $10,000. Of course, it won't be a good check."
Well, we've upped the ante now. It's 100,000 now. We're not on the limb.
I love that. It's just so funny.
Oh, I love it when Jeff, so we don't do it all the time. So when he starts saying it, it's one of those lines I just enjoy saying. I don't know why. It just gets a really good response.
It always gets a big laugh, especially because like when you say it, it's just, it's funny when I watch your act, right? And it's funny even calling it an act because it's so real. When I watch you guys, I have this vision that it is such a timeless act. Yeah. Like you could have done that act exactly the way you do it 100 years ago, before there were microphones, before there was anything, because you come out and you're so graceful and you stand on stage and Jeff's in the audience talking. It's just like, I don't know, it just brings me back to a time like before all the gimmicks and magic and, you know what I mean? It's just such a, when I say simple, that's not degrading. I mean, it's just such a basic, just beautiful act.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that. And we agree. It is simple in many ways when you really break it all down. And that's always been the interesting thing, is how do you hype this show up in your promotion? Because seeing it's completely different to what you can write about it.
So how do we describe it?
Yeah. But it's just, it really has a powerful impact, and it's had that over the centuries. So it's been really wonderful to be a part of it.
We all saw you at the castle, right? And the people are just like, oh my God. The people in the audience, they're just like,
entertainers don't pay to see other entertainers. We always go and we get in for free. And right. You're probably the only ones I know if I would pay to see your act anywhere. So I'll tell the audience that if you see in the paper or wherever the Evasons are coming to town, go see them, because you will not be disappointed.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's very kind of you.
You're hired. You've got a new job, man.
And if they don't come, he hunts them down and brings them.
No, just really amazing. I mean, most times you can figure out, you're looking, but I'm totally clueless to how you do what you do.
Yeah, and it's people go to me, well, you saw them like 21 times at the castle. What did you figure out? I go, nothing. Yeah. I go, absolutely nothing. And they go, and I go, and I'll be really honest. If I could figure something out, I don't want to figure it out. It's just too amazing to see and to witness. It really is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When we started, we did a magic illusion act. We even did doves, fire eating. We had a cruise ship show. That's how we began. But we started to realize that the older we got, the more carting around of these big props. We had a van and we had some pretty big pieces. And so our goal was to get down to a fly-on act with just overhead luggage that we could tour with, that we could travel with. And that's where we're at now. We just did Magi Fest last weekend in Ohio.
Right.
They had 500 magicians. We were on the gala show. What a great show it was.
Oh
Passing Zone was on there.
Yeah. Danny, sorry, you're blanking.
Yeah, Danny Cole and
Stacey Cole. Stacey did a spot herself also. And Alex Ramon was on.
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah. Lucy Darling, she was the MC of the show.
She did a fabulous job.
Are we missing anybody? Who are we missing?
Us.
Okay, well, that was the show. But I think everybody had a lot of props. And when they would leave the stage, there would be a little bit of a cleanup in between.
Thank goodness for Lucy Darling. She had to fill in that time. And she
awesome.
did it great. Yeah.
But it's nice just to walk out. Everything's in your pockets. Mm-hmm. Just go and leave the stage just the way you began.
And let me tell you, too, as an MC, boy, that is appreciated.
Right.
Because it's like when I was MCing that show at the castle, I could just go, Evasons. You would just walk out. I didn't have to wait for the curtain to close and then be striking props and building stuff.
That was a good week. That was one of our favorite weeks. You were so fun to work with. Oh, my gosh.
And
then you had all these famous people coming back to the dressing room every night, which was fantastic.
I was going to ask a quick question. Were you guys entertainers individually, or when you got together, did you start together, or were you doing things separately before that?
I was a magician. I worked in radio at the time in Canada. Tessa was a fashion model. And I was hired to do a fashion show to MC and also do some magic with one of the models. And when the designer went back to the girls, Tessa she volunteered. She wanted to help the magicians. So that's how we met. We're kind of brought together by a mutual friend who was a fashion designer in Toronto.
Yeah, it was really cool. And when she brought this up, I mean, I was just like overwhelmed. It's like, I'll do it. I was just like really ecstatic. And she, afterwards, when we were talking, because I'd done a few of her fashion shows with her, she goes, "Do you know this guy, this magician?" I said, "Never heard of him. I don't know any magician. I've never seen magic before in my life, but it just sounds like what a cool thing it would be to work with a magician, and then you get to know how the trick is done." I thought that would be exciting. And it was great. We met and we just clicked. It was just like we did our first little bit on stage, and it was like we worked together for years. So it just flowed from there forward.
We did the mutilated parasol.
Yeah.
We did the zigzag and the broom levitation. And and I think that was it. But she picked it right up. And then after that night, somebody inquired about a corporate event for the month later or something. And then we got a resort booking that summer, which just was 16 weeks, and then a cruise ship. So it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that broom illusion's a little scary in the beginning.
Yeah, I'll say. Try doing that on a cruise ship. That was fun. It kind of changed our choreography a little bit, because sometimes I just go spinning around on my own.
So that's a good idea.
Yeah, just like, we'll just do it that way. I was like, oh, great, thanks.
It's funny that you said about the zigzag, because I used to do doves and I used to do illusions, and I was a serious magician. And one day I was putting away the zigzag, and I thought to myself, wait a second, it's 45 minutes to set this up. It's 45 minutes to break it down and put it in the case, and the trick is 3 minutes. What is going on here? And that was carpet bag after that.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
Used to be a day that if you had an illusion, you could charge a little more.
Yes.
Right. Always.
Yeah. What is zigzag? Is that the box and you moved it to
the middle out? Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
Wow.
That's it. And it's coming back, I think. It was everyone in the world owned a zigzag, and now it's like coming back.
I love it. I think it's a great trick.
It's the greatest illusion ever.
Yeah.
But I think everyone did it because Doug Henning did it.
Ah, you might be right there. Yeah.
Everybody liked everything that Doug Henning ever did.
I really enjoy an illusion. I'm just thinking, because with the zigzag, you pull somebody up out of the audience, open the little tummy door, and they get to feel the hands. And I just love that. Anything interactive, which in illusion, typically you don't get that element. But in the zigzag, you have that brief moment where there's the inspection process. I love it.
And in all fairness, in the illusion, the magician just stands there and goes, and it does everything.
Right.
Mysticism does everything except for get the glory that the magician does.
Right. Yeah. Well, now
That's
it's the
why
reverse.
That's why you're better off. I was just going to say that's why you're better off doing what you're doing now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after the show, they can't wait to. Tess, can I have an autograph? She'll say, "Jeff, you want to tell me? No, I want his. I want." But it's always a good question when they say, "Well, why is he necessary?" And I don't let my ego get in the way of that. That what it tells me is
that's a nice thing. Why is he necessary?
Yeah, but if they can believe that I'm not any part of the show, that's fantastic. If
it's a great thing. It's a great thing as long as she's not saying it.
Oh yeah.
See, that's what sets us apart from those other acts.
You know what? I wanted to share that before I saw your act, and when you talk about Mentalist duo, as you can see my background, I'm a big classic TV fan. I keep on thinking of the Mary Tyler Moore Show when Ted Baxter and Georgette actually did that. They were doing a Mentalist trick, and it was goofy and funny.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's a great episode. It's when
nobody has.
They do the it's the episode in the 6th season when they do the Ted and Georgette show. It's very funny. But so that was my idea, and then I saw you guys, and I was like this the whole time because it's just such another level, and it's like I'm sorry, it's true magic when I watch you guys. I'm like I have no idea what's going on. But I just want
Craig knows more about TV trivia than anyone in the world. And how long did that bit run, Craig? And what episode was that?
Episode 6 of the 6th season, directed by Jay Sandrich.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm surprised you don't have a copy of it, Craig. That would be so good to see.
Can you send us a link
right now? Hold on.
He knows who
he'll get it for you. If not,
if you have a link, I'd love to see that show.
If not, Silky will find it.
I can send you the link. I'll send you guys the link. I will.
When we did the World's Greatest Magic back, however many years ago that was with John Ritter, they had another act that did the comedy mind reading act before us, Peter Gossamer and Haley. They were fantastic. But it was just pure comedy and joke and a play on that kind of an act. The watch was, if you have time, do this one. And everything was built into the,
I used to do a comedy mind reading act.
Did you?
With another guy. And it's like, I mean, right now, it was a different time, but right now it would seem kind of like he used to come out in like Chinese glasses, which you could never do. And he would be in a robe. And basically the whole thing was, it was all of those goofy clues, it's time for the next prediction. And he would ring a little bell, like letting know that he knows what's going on. And we'd go through the whole thing. And the last one was an engagement ring, right? And I'd go, it's time, and all these stupid clues. And in the end, I'd go, it's now time for the predictions. And he would stand up and go, hi, I go, correct, the watch. And it was just like, and it was kind of different, but we used to kill in the clubs. And then in the end, and then he would go, an engagement ring, which was always an engagement ring. And people would be like, oh my God. But it was just so funny but you could never do that today. But boy, that was a funny bit.
Yeah, I don't know of anybody doing those acts today. There's probably somebody, but yeah.
So I'm curious, how does your act play over the internet? I know that you usually, at least the stuff I remember, you're interacting with the audience. How does that work on StreamYard or Zoom or?
We're still able to interact, obviously not quite the same because, when we do our act on stage, the thing is about second sight acts, there's two different levels. There's the level that everybody is aware of. Everybody sees if somebody is holding a pen, let's say, and if Tessa identifies it's a pen, well, we all knew that. The trick is, how did she know that?
Right.
On our live show, I think where we've taken this kind of second sight act is what they're traditionally called from the beginning. So we've taken second sight to a point where Tessa knows things that aren't apparent to anybody, including me. Like the one thing that we do is somebody will ask if anybody has a pack of cigarettes, and they take it out of their pocket. They hold it up. She identifies it's a pack of cigarettes. Maybe it's a Marlboro. And she'll say, and if you open them, there are 5 cigarettes inside. Wow. And when they do, they open them up and they count 5 out loud. So that's what takes it. And we can't do that kind of thing on Zoom. So we can do the cigarettes. So it's not all second sight on the Zoom show, but one of the things we'll do is we'll ask, typically there's a lot of kids there. Even on a corporate show yesterday, everybody still had families because they're at home. So we'll get a kid to run into the bathroom or the kitchen, whichever room is closest to them, and grab any object. And so they might go into the fridge. They might, what did he take yesterday? He just took a rolled up towel out of the bathroom. But whatever it is they bring back, there's a little bit of anticipation, depending upon which room it is. If it's the bathroom, it's great. And people are wondering, what's the kid going to bring back? So you get that, whatever layers we can bring into it. But in reality, it's we all see the object at the same time. So we don't do a lot of the second sight. We're doing a lot of other things in that show, things that happen in everybody's hands at home, where it's a prediction, some numbers effects that we've come up with.
It's scary because the first thing you said is a pen, and I just happen to be holding a pen.
Amazing. I'm learning to do this.
That's right. It's very impressive. Nobody has a pen anymore.
I'm going back to the broccoli.
So, before we get any more of this, you guys lived on a boat, right?
Yes.
For years, we lived on a boat. We would go up and down the East Coast, the Intercoastal, where you probably went right by your house, John.
I know.
You're in Melbourne, aren't you?
I'm in Merritt Island, which is between Titusville and Melbourne, really.
Right. Well, they launched the rockets.
Merritt Island is where NASA is.
Our first marina that we stayed at in the U.S.
Titusville.
Was the Titusville Marina.
We don't have to talk about that marina. We've talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Melbourne was
good. And I can assure you, Merritt Island is nothing like Titusville.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But we did have a lot of good times there. We loved it there.
We did it when we were really young. So we were, trying to cut corners and, keep the costs down. So we were there doing what we had to do, and we got the heck out of there as soon as we could. So.
But that shrimp restaurant, that shrimp place, have you eaten there in Titusville? What's that famous place where they...
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. I can't think of the name of it.
I love that place. Yeah.
And was it a sailboat?
Or we had a sailboat. It was an unusual one.
It was unusual?
Well, not so commonplace. It was a cat boat, and it had a wishbone boom. So it was just like a surfer board, pretty much.
Big windsurf.
Yeah, it was. And the mast was all the way forward, and it was unstayed, so there wasn't any rigs holding the mast up. But man, that thing would fly, and we just loved it. It was such a cool experience to do it. So
there was another boat that used to have a nonsense or something.
That was the nonsense. Yeah. That was our first boat.
See, I know my boats.
Yeah,
I read your mind.
That's right.
We had that boat. We started off with that boat. Tess and I took sailing lessons. And in Toronto, just something to do that summer. And then after we graduated and there were these little Optimus boats, little 2-people boat, and you'd go out into the Toronto harbor. That was it. And we got our little certificates. On the way out, we thought, let's stop at the yacht broker just to have a look. And this nonsuch was listed on the wall. We always loved them from the boat shows. And the broker was heavy tactics trying to push that boat to us. And we said, no, we don't have any money. We're just looking. Put an offer.
Just you can put it really, really low. And we're like, okay, let's go ridiculously low. And he goes, oh, that's just going to insult them. We're like, well, that's all we're going to give them. So that's all we can do.
It was exactly half of the asking price. So we weren't serious, but we got a call that night and said, hey, you got yourself a boat. So we took it to Florida and had no idea what we were doing with a big boat. Went over to the Bahamas, but we did that for a couple of years.
Yeah, we learned a little bit more before we went across to the Bahamas.
Yeah, you're pretty brave. You're pretty brave, man.
Oh, brave and stupid, brave and foolish is what we were.
Yeah.
I mean, we went one night. We left West Palm Beach on that boat. Mm-hmm. We left at midnight, and about 3 a.m, the engine started doing funny things, and I had no idea, just lack of experience. And so we turned around and we went back. By 7 a.m., we're pulling back into West Palm, and all it was the regulator and the alternator had failed. So the engine, the RPMs were going up and down. Right. But we didn't know. Simple $10 fix that we could have fixed over there. So we learned a lot along the way. And we ended up buying a bigger boat towards the end. We lived on that for a while. Just loved it.
Another
we
catamaran?
do it again in a heartbeat.
Another catamaran?
No. It was another unusual boat. It had 2 center boards. And so with the boards up, it only drew 3 feet of water. That's all you could pull into really shallow bays and hurricane holes and whatnot. It's great for the intercoastal, great for the Bahamas, especially.
Right.
But now we switched from a sailboat. We have a small
trawler now, right?
Yeah. Again, unusual. We don't go with the mainstay, that's for sure. But it's small, but it's good. It's easy. The sailboats take a lot of work to get going. They're very pleasurable, especially when you turn that engine off. But we're glad that we have it because we just have to be on the water,
So can you do something for us?
Sure.
Wait. We're going to go to the balcony.
I just feel funny asking you. I just don't know,
We'll do anything for you, John, just about. So don't ever feel uncomfortable asking.
So
stay here, go over there. What do you want me to do?
Why don't you, here's what we would do. In the live show, Tessa would be blindfolded. She would wear something like this.
Or we have one that we should tie on.
We would hand that out into the audience and somebody would check it out, but I can't do that here with you. So I'll take my phone and I'll show you.
I know where it is. It's over the tray.
Yeah. I'll do this. So
we moved our setup so we could.
There's a flashlight. So from behind, no light. Am I holding that right? I'm not holding that right.
There you go.
There you go. Wow. Okay.
Usually a better flashlight. Things are put away. Look, it's 4 layers of fabric. When she places this over her eyes, it shuts out her sight entirely, completely.
Right. So watch my that for ourselves.
I just had a dominatrix.
Nothing tricky going on here.
But sometimes you got to do stuff just for yourself. Okay.
Why don't you walk away so they know that you're not looking? Because right now the screen is right in front. So
okay.
You want me to help you?
Careful.
Hold on.
Okay.
This definitely wasn't prepared, but
you got a long enough mic cable?
I think so.
Okay.
Somewhere
Let me
around
take
there.
your shoulder, turn her around, and is she still in the frame? Come back a little.
Yeah, but we
bit.
can tell she's facing a different way.
Okay.
Even face the other way.
All
Even
right.
turn a little bit over to your right.
Is
you guys
that good?
got to know there's no way she can see. I'll show you this view right over there. There she is. I can do this.
Nice.
Wow.
Very impressive.
Does anybody have, let's do something with money. Does anybody have a bill?
And if you have a bill, don't say
any
the value. Don't
it doesn't
give anything
matter.
away.
Just don't say what. And if you have more than one, that's even good.
Just remember at all
back
times,
over to here.
I can't see, but I can still hear you. So don't say what you have. Don't give a thing away.
I have a bill.
You can say that. No more. Okay, let's see.
So who's operating? Who has the control of this show? Who's
Craig?
Yeah. So Craig, I know you had a bill. I think I saw more than one. I'm going to let you decide, but can you bring up 2 screens? Whoever has the bill, are you able to make us equal size?
Yeah.
Whoever we're going to work with.
Well, hold on.
Just us. And,
I'm working on it. I'm improvising.
We have faith in you, Craig.
I'm going to let you decide who's got the bill.
It's tough to bring up just 2. I'd have to remove everybody from the.
That's all right.
Oh, I thought you could have them down on a strip on the side. I don't want to remove anybody. But.
I'm working on it. That's that one.
Okay. Well, this is fine.
No, that's not it. Okay, all my weaknesses are being shown right now.
This is good. This is good, actually. This is perfect.
Okay, this is fine.
Yeah, Mike has the bill. So
okay, Mike, hold your bill up. Natessa can't see; she's really looking the other way. That is the truth. And can you? You're going to try and give out this bill if you can.
Just think about it for me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Hold it steady because I want to know if we can focus on here from the very beginning. Try. She'll give out this. Here, this is difficult. Tess.
I want you to think of the value of the bill and nothing else.
You face it your way, Mike. Face it your way. Perfect.
My impression right now is that it's not as large a bill as I would have liked to have received from you, but that's okay. We can work with what you've got. I do think that's a $20 bill. Yes?
20. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's try something else with that.
Mike,
bill.
on every bill, there's a unique serial number. It should show in 2 places.
Yes.
Is it facing you?
It's facing me, yes.
Perfect.
Okay. So this might be a little bit, but I think we start, not the letters, just the numbers. I think it starts with a 7. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And I'm sensing, is that a 0?
Yes.
A 7?
Yes.
7?
Yes.
And another 7?
Yes.
There's a few more that I'm not getting from you yet.
Okay, help her.
Help me in your mind. A 4.
Yes.
A 7.
Yes.
And then an 8.
Yes.
The only thing I didn't get were the letters.
Oh my God.
Tell me, can you do how many letters? Mike?
I'm thinking 3, right?
Yes.
3 letters. J, C, and is that a D?
Yes.
You did
You
great.
got it all?
Yeah.
Turn around, show it to us.
That's
Yes, you
incredible.
can take your blindfold off and let her see what there it is.
Well, I can't even see without my blindfold, so you've got no worries.
7077748. Yep.
Excellent.
Woo!
All right.
That's
Okay.
unbelievable. That's
And I don't think Jeff
Sleight of
told
hand,
you,
right?
whenever
Sleight of
I
hand.
get that right, you have to send me the money. That's why I wanted $100 bill, right?
just
That was great.
Craig
Thank
will
you.
give me the address and John will send you the money.
All right. Times 5. Make it 100.
I saw on YouTube you were reading, the woman gave you a driver's license and she had her middle initial and you guessed her middle name. My mind is still blown. It's unreal, just unreal.
Excellent. Well, that's our secret. I can't tell you, or I'd have to kill you.
It's just all sleight of hand. That's all it is.
Sleight of mind, yes.
The winning numbers tonight in the lotto, so maybe we can talk later. That'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call us.
What is that question mark over your shoulder?
That's from our show that we did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a prediction that gets revealed at the end, but
cool.
Of the show. Yeah.
It's really good to either we just do a sort of a general prediction, but we can always target the theme of their show and utilize that to impact, what the whole event was about. And that's what we did yesterday, was for women empowered. And I really liked their whole angle because it wasn't just about women. They were trying to support women, but they kept bringing in the aspect of how men really help women to be successful also. So I really thought that was a great balance that they brought about in the show. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad we changed the start of our show.
Why?
What was it going to be?
I did research.
Of course you do.
No, I'll tell you. I did research on really ads that from the 50s and 60s that men, what were they thinking women were thinking?
It was totally sexist.
It was just, like a woman in a low-cut nurse's outfit saying, would you offer your dental hygienist a Tipperillo? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, and then there was another one where it was a pear, and it goes, men don't like this shape on a woman.
See,
it was for girdles.
I'm married to a feminist, so I knew just even by showing the stuff, I said it would be exploiting the women who were in those ads. Even if we're joking about it and showing how ridiculous it is, I just thought it's not a good idea to,
And my take on it was what were these men thinking? You know what I mean? This is just so wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then we decided that it probably shouldn't even be shown again, basically.
Yeah.
You see it on Facebook a lot, though. I see a lot of these old ads come up. I must be a member of some group or something. I don't know what it is. It's crazy, some of these ads.
One of the ads, I saw an ad once that said, she's married, pregnant, and happy I gave her a washer and dryer for Christmas. It's it doesn't get any worse than that.
Oh, for sure. Well, times are changing, so I think the pendulum is swinging more and balancing out a little more.
Good.
When we did, I'm seeing the I Love Lucy stuff. We did.
Oh yeah.
Should I say it? Maybe I shouldn't say what show, but it was a show where they do a TV thing where they do a little story before you come out, and that was the angle they wanted to do, which was I Love Lucy. Put us a little vignette about Tessa would be wearing an apron and she'd have a feather duster, and that was kind of just a takeoff of Lucy and Desi, us being.
I'm
and Tessa said, I am not wearing an apron. I'm not dusting. But they really tried to convince us to do otherwise.
I think also, it's like, hello, look at my color. Look at who I am. There's not very many of us on television in this realm of the magic world. When it comes to mentalism, who do you see like me? You really don't. Well, so that's the last way that I would want to be presented, because I mean, ever since I've been on stage, it's always like, I feel like I'm representing without necessarily putting it out in people's face. But I mean, I applaud women.
On stage, you represent class.
Well, thank you. But, I applaud women. And to be honest, I don't even know how women have done. I don't have children. And they have children. They have a career. I mean, they're amazing. And I'm all for doing things at the home and cooking and clean, all that stuff. That's fine. But that's not the only part of who we are. So,
putting you in that outfit would have been disrespectful on many levels.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that when you sign up for these TV shows, you're signing and saying you're going to do whatever they tell you to do, pretty much. And it was like, well, I don't know what you're going to do. I didn't say that to them, but in my head, it's like, I guess you'll have to sue me because I'm not doing that. Yeah, I refuse. So, and then that's it. It made them become more creative. It's like, we could give you suggestions, or you can be more creative. There's got to be a better way we can do this. And it did. It worked out in the end.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
Good for you. That's,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they just, I mean, and last week we did things how they exploited kids.
No.
And it was like, it's not too young to start them on Coca-Cola. And it's like, like the kid's like 8 months old. And then 7-Up said, if your kid won't drink milk, mix it with 7-Up. And then they made a color bottle and the kid
disgusting.
does like, And it was just like, it's crazy.
Well, I remember when we were younger, none of the kids in my family, we didn't like milk at all. So the thing to do in those days was you put the chocolate milks or the strawberry mix. I mean, what the heck was then those powdered mix? But they were like parents, and my mother was a nurse, but that's how they were conditioned to believe kids must drink milk. And, if you don't give your child milk, then you're starving them, or you're not giving them enough nutrition. So in went the pink powdered milk. That was my favorite.
There was one actually last week of 2 infants crying. It said, "We're crying because Daddy can't find his Marlboros."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which is true, because let me tell you, when my father couldn't find his cigarettes, you were going to cry.
Yeah. He'd be very unhappy, right?
Yeah, little cranky.
Yeah. God.
We never got milk, man. Well, we got milk. My mother used to buy the powdered milk, that powdered stuff, Carnation, whatever it was. And it was just horrible, but they made us drink it. I don't know why.
Bosco.
Like not the flavor, the actual powdered milk.
The actual powdered milk.
We did that too.
We never had real milk. I don't know why.
We used to bring powdered milk on when we were on our little cruises on our sailboat.
The only way to keep milk.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
we had a tiny little fridge. Yeah.
Our powdered milk made the powdered potatoes. It made the powdered cheese and the mac and cheese.
Yeah, because when we went to the Bahamas, I think people would think the Bahamas, they'll think, oh, the Caribbean, and they're not. And don't call them the Caribbean, because they'll let you know we're not the Caribbean. and then they aren't, because of the rock formation of those islands. For them to grow fruits and vegetables is very difficult. So once you get to the out islands further away from the mainland of the United States, you have to wait for that boat to come in to bring in all the fruit and vegetables. And when you know the day it's coming, everybody rushes to grab some, because if you come a day late, you're just getting, whatever is leftovers, the ones that aren't so good. Wow. So, you did a lot of powdered stuff when you were doing those trips. But, we were in our 20s, early 30s.
A lot of powdered stuff, even with, forget it. Powdered.
It's okay. Even though you've got that tinfoil on, I know exactly what you're about to say.
Broccoli.
Well, hey, guys, this has been a lot of fun, and I'm so happy and I'm so honored that you guys decided to do the show for us. And it's been great catching up and seeing you, and wish you all the luck. And what do you got going on in the future?
We're back to Ohio today. We might leave today or tomorrow. We have a show coming up, big thing this weekend. Going to stop and see Tessa's mom on the way. She's in Toronto. So we're back. But, it's that show, and then we're a few days off, and then another one-nighter. So a lot of one-nighters, but not the same blocking like it used to be. It's okay, though.
Right.
I'm going to keep in touch with John. I got to know when you're back in Los Angeles, because I got to see you guys again.
Oh, we can't wait to get back to the Magic Castle. John, we should do another week there. That was a really fun week.
Big changes at the castle.
You want me to call Jack?
Yeah. Call Jack.
Hey, Jack, can we do a little gig with John Ferrantino? He'll probably say, sure.
I'm telling you, Tess, I'm up. That's all that matters.
You froze there for a second.
He always, Jack will go, I'm upright, I'm breathing, and that's all that matters, Tess. He always has like some little, what did he call me one day? And he goes, stay away from the positive and be friends with the negative.
I haven't heard that one.
He might
for
have been
COVID. Stay away from the pod.
I got it.
All right.
So, man, he's the best. He's the Jackisms. Apparently, there's a book coming out.
That's what everyone always says. His famous one is, he calls me one day and I go, how's it going, Jack? And he goes, everything's great, Johnny. He goes, I hired someone to worry for me. I pay him $500 a week, and all he has to do is worry. And he calls me and says, what's my first job? I said, you better stop worrying. I'm not giving you that $500.
Oh, man.
All right.
Well, mind I'd like to know more of.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been
I can't believe it's over already.
Yeah.
Guys, that was a lot of fun.
It's our pleasure.
Thanks for inviting us. Thank you.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for everything. And let's give them a big round of applause.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Good luck, guys.
We see good things in your future. Good things in your future.
Stay safe.
You too.
That's all I can say.
Take care.
Get that third one when
everybody.
you can.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Wow, that was amazing, huh?
Yeah.
What a great show.
My mind is still blown. I have no idea how they can do that. There's just no way.
It's quick.
They're mad.
Like
They're
one
mad.
number after the next on the bill. I'm like going, yeah. I'm like, there's that. I'm telling you, man. Like, I'm a little nervous now, man. If I get arrested later, it's because she read my mind and knew what I was. Well, they can't arrest you for what you're thinking. So.
I guess you've never seen Minority Report. Good. All right. Good.
All right. So let's wrap this up today. And listen, next week, you got to tune in. We have Tommy Chong on next week.
Woo-hoo!
And we need to see Tommy Chong. And, it's an amazing show. And
we got Billy Gardell coming up.
We're cooking, man. We got great guests. And
talk to Clint Howard. He's going to be coming on in the new year.
Howard, yep.
He's on tour with his brother Ron, and they're because they're promoting their book. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sounds great. So listen, if you're enjoying the show, go to our page on YouTube. Go to YouTube, which is Bitchin Baby Boomers, or go to our website, which is www.thebbb.radio.com. When you get there, it will take you to YouTube. And once you get to YouTube, subscribe, hit like, leave us a comment. Just show us some love, man. Show us some love.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys next week.
Tune in next week to more Bitchin' Baby Boomers.